Hey everyone, thanks for joining us again. I'm Cheyenne. This is Josh.
Hey there.
We're back um, to give it another go and see. Apparently, from the last video, 60, what is it? Two people watched it.
64 views, I think, was the count.
64 views. Wow. I didn't even think 10 people were gonna watch, so we are stoked
Yeah.
about that. And yeah, so but anyways, we're gonna carry on, especially since it's like 11 people. There's 11
Yeah.
subscribers.
Yeah, we got some subscribers out of this. We're not sure why that happened, but
Why?
thank you for watching and subscribing. So,
I guess. I mean, I was really kind of hoping we could just see nobody's watching this and we can just drop it and move on with our lives. But
yeah,
I
like it's
guess
a bad
now
idea.
we
Yeah.
have 11 people to service now.
Yeah.
So we'll carry on with that. Um, so for you 11 people that apparently want to watch another one, um, we talked last time about a couple of channels that were making really good use of generators to make kind of like uh, original content based on, in their case, these two Star Wars storylines that haven't been explored. So and some of it I think is just completely fiction because it's characters from different eras that wouldn't
Right.
possibly have. But very intriguing, very interesting, very thought-provoking, and very original.
Hmm.
Actually, in terms of what their approach, and I don't want to like hurt Disney's feelings too much, but actually, kind of like more more like intriguing,
Yeah, a
like
little
they're taking a little
edgier.
more. Yes.
Yeah.
That being said, I think Andor kind of was a one-off that really was a great series.
Hmm. It
Um,
was.
I mean, to be fair, like what they did with Andor was they didn't just coast on the fact that this is Star Wars. If Andor was not set in Star Wars, it still would have been interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was just
So
good
that's
sci-fi.
why.
Yeah.
It was just good suspense. It was a
Hmm.
good thriller,
Hmm.
and it could have been set in 1930s occupied France, or it could have been set in today's occupied Ukraine or something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
True.
it could be anywhere at any time. It just good storytelling, good characters dealing with um
Hmm.
good topics. So it worked. But and it didn't seem like they were trying to push too much of whatever kind of um political ideology they have. It was just sort of like this is just good storytelling.
Yeah.
And so that one really worked. I think Mandalorian generally works too. But yeah, a lot of it is just kind of like doesn't really land with fans, and it's because it's not really committed to the universe of Star Wars and the style of storytelling of Star Wars.
But
So
also there's the thing where they're trying to appease everyone, right? They're gonna get the kids and the adults, and it's very generic feeling once you do
that's
that.
true. Andor
Yeah.
wasn't really for kids.
No.
I guess kids could watch it. It was
Hmm.
PG,
Yeah,
but
it
like
wasn't gory or anything and swear words, but
it wasn't, yeah, it wasn't too adult, but it
hmm
was grown up in its subject matter. So that
hmm
was great. Uh,
so
I
the
think
stuff that you're watching, the AI generated stuff these guys are making that you're talking about, um, what would you rate that as far as a level for people to watch? Like, would you call that adults only kind of thing? Or
it's well, I mean, I think it's I think the fan made stuff is for the fans, and it just happens to land well with the general audience. The problem, like somebody like Disney would have, is that they're trying to juggle, like you said, like they're trying to
you're trying to
appease too
make
many
everyone
points of
happy?
view,
Yeah.
and you really need to sort of pick and choose.
Hmm.
These guys
Yeah.
are making content for fans, so I think it is for fans who um, are probably at an age where they were that generation that
Hmm.
um, saw Star Wars in their childhood years,
Hmm.
and the Star Wars that George Lucas made was perfect for them because it was just
Hmm.
grown up enough to be intriguing, but at the same time just like simple enough
Yeah.
to land and not go over the head of younger audiences. But these guys now are making something that is even more grown up, even more intriguing,
Yeah.
even more high concept.
I think it's pretty
But
mature. Yeah.
yes, but still very much in the vein of the original Star Wars.
Hmm.
They're not trying to change the, let's say, social tempo, um, or the social tapestry, let's say,
Hmm.
of the original Star Wars. Uh, it's in that vein. It's just aged and matured with the original audience, but still lands with people who are of a different generation. So they just have their finger on the pulse because they are the fan.
Hmm.
Disney is. I'm sure some of the people involved consider themselves Star Wars fans, lifelong Star Wars fans, or
But they
whatever.
can't control it. The
But
too much money.
mm,
Yeah.
exactly, it's just too much money
Yeah.
involved, and there's too many like big wigs and
Yeah.
people who maybe they like Star Wars, but they don't really get it.
Yeah.
Making big decisions, and they're trying to tick every box.
Hmm.
And when you try to do that, you just make something that's lukewarm, you know, just watered down.
Yeah.
Uh, and
Safe
then you end up,
and
yeah,
kind of
but you also end up
boring.
they end up like trying to hammer certain things that are really nothing to do with Star Wars in an attempt to make it their own version of Star Wars, or
Hmm.
they're like they're trying to um they're trying to like stake their claim onto it. And I think that's a little bit sad,
Yeah.
like make something new and that'll be all yours. But if you're gonna take an IP, if you want to get the most out of it, you should stay true to the original IP, I
Hmm.
think,
Hmm.
and then and find ways of taking it to the next level,
Hmm.
but within the boundaries that were laid out
Hmm.
by the originals.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, and these ones do, and I feel like I'm like, wow, this is so intriguing, and it's it's only
Hmm.
like 7 minutes, um, but really like you get pulled into it. And I was so impressed by. I did not expect that they would have such a leap, um, in character consistency and in like quality.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and
The mouth was like so much better. I was really watching the mouth, and
it's
there was only like two or three moments where I saw it kind of
right.
jump. Um,
Yeah.
the channel is called Hyperspace
Hy-
Stories.
Hyperspace stories. That's right. And it's called Star Wars. Darth Vader learns the truth about Luke Skywalker. So these are like scenes that would go back to the original movies, but
Hmm.
just weren't in there. And it's like filling gaps
It
in the
really
original
filled it
story.
in nicely. Yeah. Like
It was
there's
honestly, if somebody had put it up there and said deleted scenes from the original
mhm.
movie, I could have been fooled.
If
You
they
know what I
put
mean? Like,
yeah, if they put it made it a bit more blurry so it wasn't so sharp, like it was old footage or something, I
yeah,
could have bought that. Yeah.
it really like, yeah, I was so surprised that it was so close. And I don't know what they're, again, these are the reasons why we keep reaching out to them. If anybody, by the way, who happens to watch this happens to know these guys or any of the channels that we mentioned,
Hmm.
we would love to like have them on. We would love to talk to them. We would love to like get their um insight and their approach. Like,
Yes.
how did you pull this up? Which of the generators did you use, and what was your pipeline?
Hmm.
Because it's
And is it a
it's not
combination?
as easy as some people think. You don't
Yeah,
just
this
tell it, I want to see this and that and the
we're not
other.
there yet. Yeah.
They're not there yet,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure they ever will be because there's so much interpretation
Hmm.
involved, right?
I think one day there could be for sure. Like I'm really looking forward to the day when there is like DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro for AI generation video content where it's like a suite and you just
Mm.
do everything in it, audio design, lighting, camera angles, color correction, all that
If you
stuff.
could, yeah, I mean, if it starts with designing the models, like so designing your cast breakdown,
Hmm.
your characters, your settings, and maybe certain objects, specific objects, like some characters' vehicle,
Hmm.
the things they hold, maybe some of the wardrobe or whatever, if you can just make those consistent, and then in prompting, you don't have to describe them from scratch every time,
Yes, so you can
and
like
you'll
save
reference
save your model.
exactly
Yeah.
save your model, and it just refers to those and just uses them
Hmm.
without having to reimagine them
Hmm.
every time. I think that would speed up the process, first of all, and use way less processing power, but also just save the creators a lot of time because they don't have to
Yeah.
keep going in and correcting like that's not the face, or the eyebrows are too close now, or the ears are too big now, or like something just random.
Hmm.
There's 7 fingers on that right hand. They have to correct these things individually. Once it gets past that, for sure, it's going to be the floodgates will be open. We
Yeah.
will have
Then we'll have true creative freedom.
like
Yeah.
we'll have tons. I think one of the reasons why these guys, why it helps to use IP that's already out there is because when you tell the generator Darth Vader does such and such, there's so much information out there that now is part of the LLM that it knows what Darth Vader looks like.
Hmm.
There's enough data out there of
That's a good
Darth
point
Vader
too.
from every
There's
possible
a lot of
angle.
material to train it on. Yeah.
Yes, and so it that helps
Hmm.
tremendously.
Yeah.
Um, but uh,
But nothing that you couldn't do with a 3D model. You can still, if you went in
absolutely,
Blender or something and had a 3D character
yeah.
you made, you train it all you want.
If they get it
Yeah.
to the point where it does that, then
Hmm. But
I sort of feel bad for the old school
they
film
had
and TV makers
they had
because
their day, you know. It's
well,
coming
I
to an
mean,
end.
yeah,
Change is
there
good.
was a time when the only way you could make a film is hire somebody who could like physically cut
Hmm.
celluloid film. That's how the only way you could edit it.
Oh, it's
And
insane to me. I just
and
admire those edits. Yeah.
I also was like, wow, when they cut, there was no like undo button.
Hmm.
There was
Hmm.
no like the
Like,
accuracy,
can we
the
afford to cut away 14 more frames?
yes,
Like, dude, have you
it
seen
was
the
so
first,
meticulous.
like one of the first movies ever made, The Trip to the Moon?
Mhm.
It is one of the first. I think there was a couple of like footage clips before, but it was the first like narrative and
Wow.
loosely narrative. It's very very vague, but
Mm.
the so being the first movie that was ever made, they're doing cross dissolves in it. The very first movie ever made, they're cross dissolving, and
Wow.
I'm like, who is this director? So I look him up. I'm like, this guy's a badass. I'm like,
Yeah.
he like
Well, and
forged the
did
way.
he edit it himself?
Not himself, but I
Was he?
mean that
Okay.
that team. You know,
Yeah.
it's just amazing to me that the very first film crew was like, what's a cross dissolve? Let's invent that, and like, and it
I
looks
know.
great.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Inventing something when you don't even have to invent it is
Hmm.
interesting, right? Because
Hmm.
like people would have been dazzled by it, even if it had like hard cuts.
Hmm.
But
They
for
do
them
the
to have like a frost resolve
they do
or
the cut where the thing disappears and there's like a puff of smoke and the thing's there, like that. You know, they're cutting, cheating it like that. But yeah, cross dissolves is like, especially with film, is a very complex maneuver.
right.
Uh, yeah. So anyway,
So that's
pretty wild.
that is a wonderful actually. But anyways, but so that does
Anyway.
that change and editors just start using something new. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen.
Hmm.
The people who may have to, redesign, rediscover their
Well,
career are people who do like the manual labor of the filmmaking.
well, let me ask you a
Um,
question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think audiences actually care if an AI film was made by AI as long as it's
I
good?
think I think depending on the kind of content it is,
Hmm.
I don't think it will matter too much
Hmm.
because if you want to watch just like a purely action film, um, you know, like a simpler narrative, uh, like a like a Taken movie, those types of um medium
Just
budget action, but
kind of
it
be
doesn't really
comfort
matter
zone.
because
Yeah.
yeah, there's not going to be a lot of like, it's not a very superhuman story.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of human moments or unique kind of emotional moments.
Hmm.
The performances, no matter how good the actors are, the performances are sort of like not really the main point of that movie.
Yeah. Just turn your brain off, have
You're
some
not
fun.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think people are gonna miss that. But
Hmm.
yes, if it's a movie about, people,
Hmm.
um, or a movie about real events,
Hmm.
possibly. Uh, there's a
I think you're right. That's
emotionally, I think there's still going to be
there's like a
room
amount of
for
respect there
that
that
to
you
be
want
like, yes.
to. Yeah.
So, and especially if it's about people going through something
Hmm.
and then yeah, I think the performance that somebody would bring who's like very suitable to the role um is going to make a difference.
Hmm.
Not that there's still ways to put that in. Like you can make an AI film and get real performers to perform the roles and then project a
True.
character onto
Yeah.
them, which is what I'm still trying to research and figure out.
Hmm.
And if anybody has any ideas on that, please put it in the comments.
Hmm.
We only had one comment before, so there's room for more comments, and it'll be noticed. And um, because that I think that right now kind of bridges the gap. But eventually, I'm sure in 10 years, AI, you can give it direction for a performance,
Hmm.
and it may take 2, 3 takes of it, just like
Hmm.
the real thing. You let your actor do, what they let them bring what they brought, what they want to like the first take or so, and or to the rehearsal or something. But
Hmm.
then you give them notes, you give them and give them motivation. And I actually wonder, like, can you result direct the AI and be like, no, I want you to, or does it actually make a difference if give them motivation direction
Hmm. Hmm.
and let the AI sort of rediscover its performance? But I wonder if it might get to that point. I wonder if it might become something that is very much like having an actor
Hmm.
to give notes to. And
I think that'd be
uh,
so fun. Okay, so yeah, so for the people who have watched our show so far, they don't know Cheyenne. You've been an actor for like 17 years,
mm,
20 years ish. You produce films. You've produced your own feature film, starred in it. What did when you first started hearing about this AI stuff, kind of coming in strong like this and changing the industry? Does it? What does that? How do you feel about it? Like, does it cause stress for you? Are you worried about it?
there's a certain kind of there's a certain bit of like uh sorrow, uh
Mm,
but I don't know, I just kind of feel like um for me, the more accessible storytelling becomes,
mm,
the better. So hopefully this leads to a proliferation of like new independent stories and movies, so more creatives can have access to making films that required budgets that they would never be able to achieve. The more you do it, the more you realize how the having the privilege of doing a $multi-million project, hundreds of $1 million in some cases nowadays, it is so um, far away from most of us that I think I think it's an okay thing. I think it won't, like we just said, like it won't completely replace um, camera and actor filmmaking for fiction, but it will it will probably um, replace a lot of the content that didn't really have a lot of uh, character-driven story. So, so yeah, so like a lot of the Hallmark films and everything don't really need an in-depth performance from an actor. They just need the right person, and those actors are really good at what they do. Don't get me wrong.
mm,
Um, but uh, but what's required of them isn't to like look deep inside you and find some deep dark corner that connects with this character's past and their persona. None of that is really part of it. And so if it's not, then it. Could be generated, a lot of it can be generated. And so maybe they'd hire like the top two actors in that, and maybe, and they don't even need that, I don't think. They're not particularly challenged, even as leads in those. So, but yeah, they might, just to attract, just so that they can use that face, that when they put it on the cover, maybe attract
Right.
some viewers. So
Yeah.
they might
Right.
do that, but then they'll generate pretty much the rest of it. They
Hmm.
might hire that person. They'll just read, they'll direct them to read the lines and everything with like three cameras running at the same time. So they have all the angles covered. And instead of working, like making a film in 10 business days or less, like I think nowadays they do it in like 8 days, 8 days, or even 7 business days,
Hmm.
which is unbelievable. But then make it probably be able to hire them for like 2 days and
Yeah.
shoot all your scenes, and now goes to the generator or director, and all the people that would be in charge of certain art department pieces would sit down and prompt and turn that into a movie. Because all the other roles, they don't really require a deep performance by a unique kind of performer, an
Hmm.
actor that can bring this to life.
Hmm.
So yeah, those ones, a lot of the, action stuff and everything, they'll change. So, you know, the joy, those things are like, really, when you do that, I've done a Hallmark, um, and those things aren't really challenging us. They're not the things that really push you, and
Hmm.
but you still enjoy being there. The
Yeah.
joy of being on set and making
Yeah.
something and everything, it's all there. So that little bit of sorrow is attached to those probably going away at some point.
Hmm.
But I think we will probably be able to, as creators, then create new things. You
Yeah.
know, in my mind, it'll be really cool. I'd really enjoy it if I can make my own things, my own IP, my own shorts and series and all that. Hopefully, it will be accessible to that point.
Hmm.
But that's exciting. And also, like, possibly if we can master the tech, those kinds of tools where you can do your own performance for a character and it will be projected onto it. So, I could play a Wookiee, or I could play,
Yeah. You can
some sort
just
of alien
do the
character.
motion capture for the entire crew,
Exactly.
basically
So
the
you
entire
you
cast.
do exactly. So you still do your performance and it turns it into another character. So
Hmm.
you could play a much wider range of
Hmm.
characters, than what's usually offered to someone like me. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
um,
That's a
or
that's a good
as
that's a
soon
good point.
offer is a big word. Sorry, what I usually get to audition for, I should say. Um,
You've been in
but
lots of stuff.
what I get to audition for, is certain things. And I mean, some of it is surprising. I'm like, really? They want me to audition for this thing? I don't know. But generally, like what kind of stuff is within your range,
Hmm.
um, visibly anyway. And then unless you're, with one of the big agencies and you're one of the big stars, you rarely ever get a chance to play a character that you can sort of surprise people with,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
take it to another level. But if you're performing for a project where it takes anybody's performance and turns it into any character, then I could play,
That's a real
a Navy
challenge.
SEAL,
Yeah.
or something that I generally wouldn't be
Hmm.
pegged as, just physically, visually.
Super
Um,
exciting.
that
Sounds
is
like,
super exciting. So
way more work for
way
you to
more
do. Yeah.
range, yes.
Range. Yeah.
But so the saddest thing that could happen, the saddest, darkest thing that can happen is it'll just all be generated, and there's no room for creative collaboration between all these people.
Hmm.
Uh, that would be unfortunate. That would be
Yeah.
missing something. It'll definitely we'll definitely lose a little bit of that magic of people working together.
Hmm.
And directors, actors, voiceover actors. motion capture artists, stunt workers. There's like a little bit of magic that happens when they all collaborate and interpret each other's work.
Hmm.
So yeah, so that'll be sad when that's
And I
gradually lost.
I do think that there's going to be still the romantic directors out there who, people still shoot on film. They don't have to, but there's something about it.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think you'll still get that, but
So
like you said, it's so expensive. It's just all of us daydreamers here without the budgets for it.
yes.
It's really exciting for us because
Yeah,
it's
so it's
just.
gonna be like I think it's gonna be like all of the smaller stuff like series and everything will probably be mostly generated. I
Hmm.
I would
Hmm.
I would expect. And then big stuff may still be filmed, partly filmed at least. Some of it may become generated. Um, I don't know how post-production, like big, expensive post-production studios are going to do,
Hmm.
because that will be unless they get on board with it really fast and then
Yeah. Yeah.
work much faster. So instead of like I don't know, like 75 people in a post production office working on one film for
Hmm.
7 months. They will, they'll have 10 people working on one film,
Hmm.
getting a big film done in like 2 weeks.
Hmm.
So their output would increase dramatically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
It,
and then they'll all still be in business and doing something.
yeah, it almost turned into like you're just approving things at this point, like color correction coming through and be like, yep, I approve of that. Or like, no, this changed this a little
Yes.
bit, like
Yeah. I mean,
just.
somebody still has to make decisions and
Mhm.
choices. You don't
Yeah.
want to leave that up to an AI. I mean,
Yeah.
the
You
AI
have to have
might
the trained
learn.
eye. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, the
but
AI
at
might
least
learn. Yeah.
AI will learn over time,
Hmm.
especially will improve so that,
Hmm.
every time it does it, especially for a particular, because there's such a range of, there's no right or wrong, right? There's only um certain aesthetics.
Hmm.
And so that AI may be like, uh, uh, um, a private AI setup, a local system. So it's learning based on, and it's like sort of specific to one DOP, right?
Hmm.
Or one director or something like that.
Hmm.
And so it will learn the choices. So it will speed things up. So like when it does a first pass,
Yeah.
every time it gets to work with somebody and gets their notes and keeps changing it and keeps updating and keeps outputting a revision,
Hmm.
it learns, and then next time it'll save you one more step of revisions
Hmm.
until it gets to the point where it gives you something that's like 99% what you would have wanted
Yeah.
because it's absorbing your taste and your choices.
Hmm.
I think it'll get there. Even if it's not 99%, it'll get to
Yeah.
like 90%. So instead of color correcting based on some DOP and director's taste taking 3, 4, 5 days, it could take an hour, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Exactly.
think I think that'll make a big difference.
So, as far as all of the content that you've seen so far, would you say that this one that you're just talking about, the Star Wars one, that was the longest narrative you've seen so far? Would you say that that is the best AI
That was
generated content you've seen?
that was really good. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the other one that I wanted to bring up that I thought
Hmm.
was really, really cool was the Impossible. What was it called?
Oh, was it Impossible Stories? No. Okay, so the Star
No,
Wars
it
one,
was
that was
called
Hyperspace Stories. Okay, so the other one,
yes. Hmm, I think yeah. Let me see. I think I sent it to you, right? Or how
I
did
don't
I
think you
get it?
did, but I've seen some of
But
them before. It was like going
it'll
back in
come to me.
time.
It'll come to me. But basically, they do comedy, and comedy is a good choice for AI right now.
Hmm. For sure,
Um,
much easier.
and they're like
Impossible, sorry,
shtick. Uh,
Impossible AI.
Impossible AI.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the channel.
And their shtick, which is really perfect, is it's all like a reporter interviewing, putting a mic in somebody's face on the street outside, and interviewing characters from all these time periods and all these. So, like a reporter on board the Titanic, interviewing people, various kinds of people, and it's all just sort of
Tongue in cheek, and
humorous,
yeah,
cheek, yeah, and
she's unsinkable,
foreshadowing.
don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I just think like that's so it's fun, it's hilarious,
Hmm.
and it's just so simple, and and it works with what's available right now.
Yeah.
And I think that is good. Um, that's a good approach. That's just good thinking.
Hmm.
What does the tool do best? What does it not do well? Let's not worry about what it doesn't do well. Let's cater our approach, our whatever our shtick is, and cater our story to what it does do well.
Hmm.
And so it doesn't require character consistency. It's never the
Yeah.
same character twice.
Right.
It's like a hand and a camera, like a hand and a microphone going in front of a character's face. That character could be different every time, for every shot.
Hmm.
And they're like quick little bits, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a question and then an answer. All might take like 20 seconds, 30 seconds tops, which is sort of what's best for what you can generate with AI right now. So that's a really clever, um, low maintenance, I think. And if anybody's out there is looking for ideas, that is a good approach because your approach is already best served by what's out there with AI tools.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Whereas what the what the Star Wars ones, Hyperspace Stories has done is, I think they've gone, they've done it the hard way.
Yeah.
They've they have a process, they have a pipeline, maybe using multiple
They have to be, I
AI
think.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and somehow maintaining character consistency and just doing a really good job of all the shots.
Hmm.
And all sort of stitched together. It's not jumpy. It's not inconsistent. There's no like lagginess to it. It's very smooth. It's very polished. That's super impressive. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's yeah, so I would say those are probably the best looking so far. I think the Star Wars one is probably the best narrative one I've seen so far. However,
Mhm.
there is the Corridor Crew one that they made actually a couple of years ago. Um, a lot of people have probably seen this episode where they made a rock paper scissors short film. It was like style of Japanese anime and like super fantastical and like it's just this big
Right.
rock paper scissors battle and they maintained character consistency. It was all AI generated, except they did do they filmed the scenes with themselves and then put that into the generator. So they were shooting the actual actions and the motions.
Yes. And
So
I think that is going to be like, that's the way I would like to do it.
mhm,
I'd really
yeah,
rather not describe every movement in the
yeah,
scene.
keeps it a
Um,
little grounded and more
yes,
real.
I'd really rather
Mhm,
it was just sort of performed and shown,
mhm,
show don't tell,
yeah,
kind of approach. And oh man, it must save you it'll take a little extra time to do, to film it
mhm,
yourself, but you're not filming anything particularly fancy.
yeah. No
You
crazy
don't need a big
suits,
studio
no
stage, no crazy
detectors, and
suits. No,
yeah,
none of that. Like just think about how much money is being saved,
yeah.
and like the technology is giving you what would have cost like $1 million
Hmm.
to set up the studio.
And
And now it's at your fingertips.
how much more fun would it be to do motion capture when you're not wearing these ridiculous outfits? If you can probably get a
Yeah,
little bit more into
exactly.
it. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's picking up a lot more for a lot less um infrastructure.
Hmm.
So I think that combined, as long as there's character consistency and you could do that, you can make any story you want to tell. And you would just have to be really good at prompting for like, super action, like duels
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Hmm.
That will be very difficult right
Hmm.
now. It's still something that AI struggles with. Um,
But
and
it'll get
even
there.
you doing it yourself on camera, it's going to be hard for it to
Hmm.
interpret two characters mixing and mingling
Hmm.
together. But I'm sure it'll get there. You're right. It'll
Hmm.
definitely get there. But in terms of what's possible now,
Hmm. And
yeah.
there might be some tools too that will help. Something that might be able to help a lot with doing just the generic motion capture with two people without motion capture suits is they could have something where you do wear like a something that at least detects your hands,
Mhm.
so it knows to separate the two blue hands from the two red markers. So it's
Mhm.
now it's not making them go through each other and stuff like that. And I'm sure
Mhm.
there's some tools out there that'll come about where it's a little bit of a combination of what we do have right now with the AI just to help guide it when it's really
Mhm.
complex movements. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
totally. It's
Yeah.
gonna, and when it gets to that point, it's gonna be pretty pretty amazing.
Yeah. It'll be so fun.
But I think right now, the what I keep finding is I keep having these ambitions. Like what's available makes you so ambitious.
Hmm.
It's still like a long way to go to get there.
Hmm.
It's probably possible to do it. It's going to take a lot of man hours.
Hmm.
So you're better off really focusing on what is the tool offering you that you could do and just start creating. I think that's where most of us are struggling, whereas like some of these guys are just killing.
Hmm.
I'm so impressed with what um, uh, Hyperspace Stories has done.
Yeah.
Um, or at the
I
same time, Impossible AI has done. Like I
yeah,
think that approach is the best. Like, I don't think you can do Hyperspace Stories right away. Like that would be a hard start. So
for
if you
sure.
start with
Yeah,
something like
do something. We can change it up too, and as we get
you
better.
can get there. You
Yeah.
can definitely get there. And but whereas playing into the tools, I think is a better way to learn,
Hmm.
put out material, get better. Um, because trying to jump straight into a narrative, like a consistent narrative, proper film structure, cuts and edits and all that is you're just slowing yourself down tremendously. And by the time you get used to something more simple and you learn and you build yourself up, the tools are probably going to get better. Like you might not have to learn
Hmm.
some of the things that needed to be learned and used for what they've created right now,
Hmm.
what Hyperspace Stories is created right now. You may not even have to use that because the tools are they're literally improving
Yeah.
every week,
Yeah.
every other day sometimes.
It's
So you
true.
might even, by the time you make like 20 videos that were made very simply using the strengths of the AI tools, by the time you've done that, then you end up with these updates for one of the generators that like just makes your life easy. And now you
Yeah.
can tackle
Yeah.
a narrative, like a 15-minute, 20-minute film, um, and not have to kind of find your own workarounds for all the things it won't do. So, yeah, I think
Just
I think that's
rent a
that's what
cabin
makes
for a
sense to me.
weekend and generate a movie over a weekend. Like, how fun would that be?
That would be pretty amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of thinking you need that. But you
Not on a weekend,
probably,
but.
as long as you have a really good script,
Hmm.
if you've already done your work on your script, and there's still room for change, I think, within that process. But you could probably take, a couple of 5, 6 hour days, um, and make like
Yeah, pretty decent amount of work.
yeah. Whereas right now, I think what AI, um, possible AI is doing, you could probably in one person in a couple of hours can come up with it.
Hmm.
You know, I or maybe at most like one person in like 3, 4 hours,
Yeah.
right? Um, it can do something like that.
Hmm.
But again, if we manage to speak with them, or if I can get in touch with them and we can talk to them,
Yeah.
I'm super curious. How long does it take you,
Hmm.
to put out one of these
Hmm.
3, 4, 5 minute videos? And if you get to speak to somebody from Hyperspace Stories, ask them how long did it take you to do this?
Hmm.
It's a 5.5 minute film, and it's nice and polished and and
Yeah.
and surprisingly good. How long did it take you to do the writing, prepare the models, do the prompting? And I don't know how they did it, but like the ships and everything in it looks so like polished original Star Wars, you know? It looks
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
crisp. They're,
surprisingly good.
they're, there's something about the look. You're right. It looks.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
almost like a
And there's
vintage vibe going on with it. It's
exactly.
yeah.
How did they do that? Like, how is it that the AI generated something that better mimics the miniature models, the
Hmm.
detail of the miniature models, versus like really high-end CG that, like Disney does. Super high-end. It looks interesting. It doesn't have the same um texture and I don't know, like originality, the
It
authenticity.
it could be something where it could be a situation where they are generating the models for the ships elsewhere and bringing them in to get them that perfection and
Or they
consistency.
had the images, they had the
Hmm.
the model, the miniature model images
Hmm.
given
Oh,
into
like
the AI that just use this.
yeah, that could be too. These are the questions we have. We want to know. We want to talk to you
I
guys.
know. I would
Yeah,
love to find these guys, and I'll try. I'll try. I'll keep
and
reaching out again. And
and anyone watching this, if you have seen another AI video that beats that, is better in your opinion, post it in the comments. We'd love to check out what you think is
Please,
the best AI
we
video.
would love to. We
Yeah.
would love to see more of them. We would love to see something that, yeah. So if you guys have that, please post them, give them, reach out to us, let us know.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're super stoked to engage with people and learn more about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
absolutely. Absolutely. Cool.
Okay, I think I think we could wrap up there for now, and then
Okay.
see if we can get another 64 views, and and we'll take it from there. 64 people and maybe 2 comments.
2 comments is asking
Let's
a
see.
lot. Yeah.
Let's see if we allow. Let's see if we can double the
Doubling.
number of comments we're gonna get. If we can double the number of comments and just reach the same number of views,
Yeah,
um,
I'd be happy
you
with that.
know, there's like 9 likes.
Hmm.
Um, that's enough.
Yeah.
I think likes is enough. If you guys see 9 likes, just stop it
Yeah,
there.
don't do more than 9.
If there's
Double
too
double
many
digits.
likes, pressure will just go up. It'll just be more of a headache for us.
Hmm.
So yeah, yeah, there you go. Thanks. Anybody who actually watched, thank you for watching. Hopefully you didn't click by accident, which
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of
It's
people did.
probably the case.
But if you did want to watch, if you didn't watch and you stayed with us all the way, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. You'll
Yeah,
you'll
cheers.
catch us in the next one.
We'll catch you next time.